Hi, I'm Aisling from Beaut.ie and today I'm going to show you a quick foundation routine. So I'm just going to try a few new products, and these are new to me as well, so we can all see them together. The first thing I'm going to start with is the new Armani Maestro UV Primer. So with primer it's really important to work it into your skin. So I'm just going to take a little and apply it to my hand, and I'm just going to warm it up in my hands. And then once I start the center of my face, and I can really just work that in to my skin. So it's important to kind of heat the product up when you are doing this and work it really into kind of every angle and every area. And it's good because you can feel the different kind of textures on your own skin. So if it's specifically dry, you can just really pay attention and work it into that area. So the next thing I'm going to do is try MAC's new foundation. So this is the Matchmaster one that we've been talking about on Beaut. It's not one that I've used before, but it comes in a little compact like this. So it's exciting to kind of carry around in your bag. Really handy for kind of topping up and things. I'm actually going to use a brush with this because I always like to put my foundation on with a brush. I just find that it lasts a lot longer. So I'm just going to take my brush and dip it into the sponge. And when I'm applying foundation, it's really important to start at the center of your face and work your way out. And we do this because otherwise you start getting foundation in your hairline and it just doesn't blend as nicely. So this foundation is a medium coverage. It's supposed to kind of be a bit buildable as well, which is great. It's also a satin finish, so it's not matte. For me, usually I love a matte finish foundation because I don't have the best skin, and with matte it's easier to kind of cover any blemishes. It doesn't highlight imperfections. So far it's going on well. I like it, but I would love a little bit more coverage, but that's just me. So with my brush, I'm kind of really just buffing it into my skin. Instead of getting loads and loads of product, I'm just using what's on my brush, and I'm kind of really making sure to kind of get it into any areas that need covering. So you can see with the foundation, it's definitely got a good bit of a glow in it, which isn't amazing for people who do have a little bit more of an oily skin. If you have a dry to normal skin type, it's probably going to be really nice for you, but whereas I'd be just a little bit more oily, and I do have kind of acne scarring and things on my face, so that tends to highlight it a little bit for me. So my skin type, I'm not sure I love it. So I'm going to powder over it and see if I can kind of even it out a little bit. But before I do that, I'm going to do some colour correcting. So I've just been sent this YSL Colour Corrector. They come in 3 different shades. So there's a green one, and that's for any kind of redness. So if you would have redness around your eyes or your nose, the green will neutralise that. There's a purple one, and that's to kind of brighten up quite a sallow complexion. So if you're somebody who is quite sallow and you tend to get kind of almost those really deep dark circles under your eyes, the purple one's going to be really good for you. And then there's this apricot one, so that's kind of more for bluey tones, for kind of blue around the eyes. So I'm going to use this one because you can see my dark circles at the moment. I'm actually gonna not use it directly from the product. I'm just gonna take some product out and just apply it to my hand. And I'm gonna use a brush to apply it. So once it's kind of fluffy, I'm gonna use a MAC one, and I'm gonna dip it into the colour corrector, and I'm gonna just colour in under my eyes, but not just in that area. I'm gonna start here. And I'm just going to bring it back up towards the ear. I'm just gonna making sure to kind of get in towards my nose as well, because that's often where the shadow is cast to give you a dark circle in the first place. So you can see that kind of almost immediately correcting the dark circle under my eye, which is really nice. I'm just going to do it to the other side as well. So the reason I put kind of creams on top of creams, if I were to powder now, you're going to get kind of, it will depend on the product, but a lot of the time what will happen is the cream will start mixing with the powder and just congealing a little bit. So always, if you're using a liquid powder or a liquid blusher or kind of a contour, always keep your liquids with liquids and your powders with powders. I'm also just going to put a tiny bit of that down the center of my face. So I'm just going to almost draw a line down the center of my nose just to highlight it. And I'm going to put a tiny bit on the Cupid's bow as well. And then maybe the top of my chin. So that's just going to give my face a little bit more dimension. Okay, so now that I've corrected my dark circles and I've used all the creams products that I wanted, I'm going to powder that down, and that's going to set everything for me. So I'm going to use the NYX Stay Matte but not flat powder foundation, and I'm going to use a fluffy brush. So just this one from MAC is what I'm using. I'm going to hold the brush right at the end and keep my finger on it like this, and I'm just going to roll my brush onto the product. And then with my brush still held up at the top, I'm just going to roll that onto my face. So that's kind of setting my primer, my foundation and my colour corrector all together. And that's going to keep my makeup on for a lot longer throughout the day. So a lot of the times it's just about your technique and not actually the product. So layering products is going to be brilliant to kind of help your foundation and your makeup last all day. Now just at the end, I usually take my brush and then hold it a little bit further down, and I'll just dust the product downwards. And that's just with kind of what's left on my brush. So if you kind of get a little bit oily around your nose, just make sure to add a tiny bit more product or around your chin area or whatever, and then really again just kind of roll it and push it right in to your skin. Okay, so that foundation wise, I'd be happy enough with that. When you do have a kind of a fuller coverage on, and I've used 2 layers of the foundation at this stage, it's kind of important to contour a little bit. And even if you don't want to go into as much detail or as much contouring as our last video, it's good to just give the face a tiny little bit more dimension. So I'm going to use the Rimmel Sun Shimmer one for this. And again, kind of a fluffy tapered brush, and that's from MAC. I'm not going to contour as much as I usually would, because I know we listen to you here at Beaut. So in the last video, some people found that it was a little bit heavy. So this time I'm just going to use a matte bronzer and my tapered brush, and I'm just going to do a really light contour. So I'm taking my brush and I'm just rolling that onto this product, and I'm starting at the top of my ear, and I'm just going to pull that brush down and then detach it. So again, it might help you to kind of tilt your head down a little bit, because when you do that you can kind of see your jawline and your cheekbones a little bit better. So if I kind of tilt my head down, I can start seeing where my cheekbones are naturally, and it's important to keep with your natural bone structure as opposed to inventing a new one. And with your contouring colour, it's always important to go kind of 2 shades darker than your own foundation. So again, I'm just taking it, I'm just starting here, and I'm just pulling that down and detaching it. So I'm not buffing it, I'm just, again, one sweeping movement. So sometimes people are kind of confused about where they should be contouring, and a really nice tip for you guys at home is always kind of think about a 3. So if you can start up at the top here, so that's your first 3, and then down the bottom. So that kind of 3 shape is something that you want to kind of think about when you're doing it. So just be careful when you do your jawline that you do blend it down your neck a little bit, because otherwise it just ends up looking like you've chosen the wrong colour foundation. Okay, so at this stage what I would tend to do is go back in with my powder, and instead of using a highlighting product at this stage, I'm just using my powder and my fluffy brush again, and I'm just gonna colour in directly underneath the contour, so just under my cheekbone there. Same on the other side, and that just kind of cuts it really nicely for me, and it makes it look a little bit more precise. And you can do the same on the top of the cheekbone if you want. So that is your foundation, your basic foundation routine, using Armani's new primer and MAC's new Matchmaster foundation. All in all, I like it. I suppose I'd have to wear it for the day, and I can let you know how I get on and how it lasts. But yeah, it's a handy little product to have in your handbag. I hope you liked this video, and if you have any questions or any video requests, please comment in the box below.